shakalaka, why $280,000 is a low ballpark estimate for Bitcoin this year, why it could get much, much higher, and why altcoins are about to pop. Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, a lot of very interesting charts for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, including why $280,000 per Bitcoin is a low ballpark estimate and why altcoins are about to pop. Before we get into it, guys, like the video. Also come join us on Twitter at the Crypto Love, where we publish all of the charts from today's video. Now, fear and greed today, 64. We are up into green. Greed up from yesterday's 60. The overall market, however, sideways. Bitcoin 42,704, Ethereum at 23.10, BNB 300, Solana $95, XRP 50 cents, Cardano 49 cents, Avalanche $34, and Dogecoin 7 cents. And Bitcoin continuing sideways in this trend channel since the beginning of December. It should be noted that from the bottom back down here in October, and this bottom right here would be likely pushing Bitcoin out of that trend channel. Also, this coincides nicely with the 100-day moving averages green line right here. So by the end of February, we may be out of that trend channel to the upside. Very interesting to keep an eye on that. However, some people are still calling for lower lows like this right here. No Bitcoin cycle has ever escaped a retest of the 150% long-term holder support line. Right now, that 150% line is at $31,300. We can see in 2012, 2016, and 2020, that line was retested. This time, we have broken above there, not yet retested. Now, could it go down there? Abso-freaking-lutely. I have no crystal ball. I don't know where it's going to go. But generally, I like to look at sentiment, and that's my crystal ball. Now, if we take a look right here, sentiment check. Was last week's Bitcoin dropped to 38.5 the bottom for the next couple of months, or do you think we go lower? Right now, 2/3 of people think we're going to go lower, and generally, from my experience, the market likes to upset the most people possible. So if everyone thinks it's going lower, probably not going lower. But that's just my thoughts on these things. Now, if we take a look right here on Bitcoin and the weekly stochastic RSI, we can see when the stochastic RSI drops from the top to the bottom, historically, this aligned with very significant Bitcoin price drops. Now, the most recent time that it did this, guess what? Price did not drop. It went sideways. That means there is some resilience in the market. Potentially, we could be seeing an explosion upwards after this recovers. And you don't want to be fooled, even though right now there is a historic low one-year supply. As Bitcoin price is oscillating, whales are accumulating. Yes, they are. You have to remind yourself where we are in the cycle. Right now, the halving scarcity has not yet hit. Even though it's only 69 days away from the halving, it has not yet hit because all those news articles about the halving and scarcity haven't come out yet. Everybody's forgotten about it. Give it another 2-3 months. All of a sudden, people will remember the halving, and then that's historically when things take off for Bitcoin. Look at how sharply after the halving price goes up. We are still before in the last moments before the halving. But if you want probably one of the most accurate golden crosses to see when things are about to explode, this is one right here, the Ichimoku Golden Cross, when the Tenkan crosses the Kijun. This has happened historically right before massive pumps, and guess what? It just happened after the January candle closed, extremely significant for Bitcoin's cycle, meaning parabolic growth is likely ahead of us. The worst is behind us. This is very interesting. Now, in Bitcoin's post-halving returns the post-halving returns are the same as 2020. And he notes down here, he believes the 2020 cycle performance was mediocre at best. He says, we're looking for a $280,000 Bitcoin next year. That's right. If it echoes 2020 and 2020 was mediocre, we're looking 280,000. That means that likely could be a lot higher than that. You might reasonably argue this cycle's returns are less than 2020, but 2020 was mediocre and an outlier. So, minimum $280,000 per Bitcoin. If we take a look at this Elliott wave theory cycle count, this is predicting $340,000 for Bitcoin. And it may not stop there, because you might remember We talked a little bit about halving scarcity and Bitcoin. You might remember that Bitcoin is the hardest asset in the world. There's only ever 21 million, never going to be any more. But if we take a look at how quickly they are printing money, at the current rate, $1 trillion will be added every 7 days, then 50 days, then 20 days. By the time the money supply is doubled to 44 trillion, the US will be printing 1 trillion twice per week. This milestone is expected to happen in 2025 in just 15 months. Yes, that's right. Around the same time they're predicting the highest Bitcoin price peaks is exactly the same time the US is going to be printing $2 trillion per week. You think the price could go through the roof? Yeah, absolutely, on the hardest asset ever. So, you might want to buckle up before that happens. Now, Bitcoin's looking great, but also altcoins as well. If we take a look, the last time the CM Guppy flipped bullish was in 2020, which led to a very significant alt season that happened. Right now, it flipped bullish once again. Could be in for a very massive alt season. We see this nice fractal right here, a cup-shaped accumulation, followed by a triangle wedge-shaped reaccumulation, dipping below before going absolutely parabolic. Well, look at this. Much larger cup-shaped accumulation, much longer reaccumulation triangle right here, dipping below, could be on the verge of going absolutely parabolic. ETH right now, the price momentum oscillator, showing the second bottom is in, and similar to 2020, 2021, this is the point where we could be in for massive rallies right now. You can see where this could push Ethereum price into the tens of thousands of dollars based on what it did last time we saw this. And this sleeper right now, Dogecoin, this is an oscillator. Willy Woo talks about oscillators and degenerators in terms of altcoins. Dogecoin is an oscillator. Every cycle goes up an order of magnitude. Right now, the Bollinger Bands on Dogecoin's 4-hour chart are experiencing the tightest squeeze since October, signaling an impending spike in Doge price volatility. So, things are looking pretty darn exciting. But that's all for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, push the like button. Come join us over on Twitter at @TheCryptoLove. I will catch you guys later. Have a good one. Love you. Peace.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.
From now on, if you don't own Bitcoin, you're a moron.